Hi guys, just a really quick one. I've been playing around today with some home automation stuff, most notably the modules you can see on my screen here, the PZEM-004T modules, monitoring power in your home for home automation requirements is not an easy task. There's a few options out there, but a lot of them don't really give any degree of safety or any degree of accuracy. Big Clive did a teardown on a new style monitoring device that came on the market about a year ago, and we followed that down the rabbit hole to try and get hold of the chip that was used in there. We did manage to find sources, information on using it, and everything we needed. Unfortunately, we were let down by a supplier, and the chip stayed in China and never made it out. So we still need to do this. We've got a project where we need to monitor what generators are up to on a site, and I'd quite like to keep an eye on what's going on here as well. So after a little bit of searching, these things showed up on AliExpress, and as you can see, they're quite inexpensive. There do appear to be multiple versions of them. We've got the 100 amp version with the clip-on current transformer. There have been some concerns raised with the isolation on some of the older ones. I will have a quick look here, but I don't think there are any of that type available anymore. The older ones use two optocouplers, as these do here, with no creepage distance or anything. They've run tracks directly under them, whereas the clearances and creepage on this model are quite good, and there are actually slots cut in the board as well. You do need to make a small mod with a 10k resistor to use this with 3.3 volts. So if you're using it within a Arduino Uno, then you can use it as it is. If you're using it with something like the MakerHawk, which we've used, which is these only have 3.3 volt tolerant inputs. They have no 5 volt tolerant inputs at all. So you need to modify the optocouplers on the PZEM. There's plenty of information on that. I won't go into it. This is just a quick, this is what you can do with them. There is a Arduino library here, which I will link in as well, which works absolutely beautifully. And the code for doing this is beautifully simple. If you just bear with me, I will give you an example. So as I said, there is an example for this, which is beautifully simple. We quite simply fire up, this is the software serial, so we fire up an instance of this object with the pins we're using for software serial. We set a speed. Incidentally, this is saying 115200. I believe most of the references I've seen is 9600. This did work though, he says. Pretty sure this worked out the box. And as you can see, you quite simply just pull out the parameters you desire. I've tested this with a known load. They're fairly accurate, so I've got no concerns over there. And as I said, there is a wealth of information about them. They are quite commonly used. They're definitely worth looking at. I'm just trying to see if we've got any of the older versions here that are the ones to watch out for, but it looks like all we can see here are the newer ones. The trick seems to be look for the white opto isolators, but no, it looks like these are the newer one is the only one that's easily available. And just give you an example of some of the data we pulled off. You can look at this URL and check it out yourself. I've got no problems with this. This is a publicly accessible server. This is one of our embedded systems. We can have a quick look here. Just wait for these graphs to load because there are a few data points, and this is being pulled out in real time. Ignore the dew point. This is primarily designed for weather information, and I've just not got around to taking that calculation out. But as you can see, you've got most of the information you're going to need for monitoring. And yes, we do use that much power in here. So yeah, it's a really good little module. It was really quick to get up and running. Modifying our own base code to work with it was a little bit difficult because we've never run our base code on ESP32 before. But once we got around that, actually getting the PZEM-004 to talk was a matter of about 5 or 10 minutes. we've packaged it up in a complete module with one of the little embedded 10-star robot switch remote power supply. So the whole thing is fitted in a nice small waterproof box. It's shielded, nobody can touch anything, so nice and safe. So anyway, just something for those of you into your home automation and home monitoring, well worth a look. Thank you.